I've always found auto-regulation to be rather intriguing, and I have a lot of difficulty applying it to my fitness journey. Now, while I do respect that it's a very valuable skill, and I respect people that can truly understand what their body needs on a certain day, but when I try and apply it to myself, I find it fairly challenging to really understand what my body needs to have, how it would respond to a certain day, and whether certain feelings that I have, or maybe just barriers in my mentality, I don't know how I can respond to this, because on some days I feel like crap. I do my first warm-up session and I'm just like, damn, I really don't feel the best, but I pull through. I just keep pushing, and one of those days seemed to be the strongest holds I get. Now in this session, it was the opposite. When I did my first warm-up, I felt amazing. I felt like I was gonna PR. There was this inherent feeling. I was just I just knew that something was going to go well. But when I did my hold, it was pretty anticlimactic. It wasn't bad. It was above average, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more, and I had a high expectation based on how I felt. So now I wouldn't say I have multiple experiences like this, but it was a rare occasion. And while I don't believe that I should use this as a norm and say, oh, now I truly don't know what my body feels, I just feel like this is a strange occasion, and it's made me reconsider how I approach auto-regulation. And I believe the conflict I'm having is, what is more beneficial, programming or auto-regulating? Or maybe a bit of both, right? On one hand, auto-regulation seems to theoretically be the most ideal thing. You are purely basing your workout on what your body most appropriately needs. If you have a perfect understanding of that, then I feel like that is the best type of program, because you're able to purely base your stimulus and things that you're putting into your to your workouts to what's most optimal for your body and at that time. But I have huge doubts of an individual's ability to objectively define what your body needs. And a lot of the times I feel like the mentality is what inhibits what you truly can pursue. There's always those moments where you have a shitty day and you PR on that day. And that comes and that leads to my to the benefits of programming. There's that mentality factor that is overcome with programming. Now there's no longer that limitation. You're not inhibiting yourself by this sensation that you just feel weak. Rather, you're working based off an objective, a very methodical approach that seems to work rather rigid and strict. It forces you to adapt to certain situations and certain working schemes so that you can just be disciplined. But the problem here is, what if there's too much workload and your body has physically not recovered enough? Maybe you had poor sleep that day. Maybe you just didn't eat right, or you just had a very long day. And while I do believe programs are more efficient in bodybuilding and powerlifting disciplines, because I think it still applies to calisthenics, while not as effective. The reason why I say it's not as effective is I feel like calisthenics has a huge emphasis on the neurological understanding. It heavily taxes your mental game and the neurological touch with skills. Skills are so heavily mental based that there's so many factors that affect your mentality throughout the day. So to purely rely on programming to just dismiss all of those mental factors, I think sometimes that can be rather naive and a very poor way of approaching calisthenics. There's a lot of people that have commented on my YouTube channels. They said, you're going against all these calisthenics principles. You should not be programming. This is the wrong way to do it. You should be doing it daily and doing it by feel. And to that, I want to challenge with what I'm saying in this video, because I'm not too sure what is most ideal. For me personally, I feel like programming has helped me the most just with how I think and just how my mental game works. But maybe in future I might change it up. Right now I'm still changing it up and using some form of auto-regulation, but I think there is no true objective way of defining what's most optimal. That really is up to the individual and how you respond mentally to certain things. So yeah, that was basically it, and I'll finish it off here.